Part 6, Dae-Do-Dae-Han, Great Path Towards the Great Hananim. Chapter 1, The Righteous Tao and Laws. With the advent of the new heaven, the categories and lineages of the evil Shin from the betrayal heaven, who betrayed the Hananim of the beginning, have collapsed and been wiped out. The Tao of the betrayal heaven is the Tao of evil Shin, and therefore a false Tao, whereas the Tao of the new heaven is the Tao of the holy Shin, thus the righteous Tao. The righteous Tao, approved by the new heaven, is known as the Yu, Bull, Sun, Tri-Unity Tao. The Yu Tao is the Tao of the male and female Taoist Shin. It is the Tao of heavenly officials who manage all matters, big and small, of heaven. Through righteous faith and the practice of the Tao, one's Shin can be reborn as either male or female Taoist Shin. The Bull Tao is the Tao of the general Shin. It is the Tao of heavenly military officials who repel evil Shin through various Taoist magic and Taoist methods. Through righteous faith and the practice of the Tao, one's Shin can be reborn as a general Shin. The Sun Tao is the Tao of the angel Shin. Through righteous faith and the practice of the Tao, one's Shin can be reborn as an angel Shin. The Tao of the new heaven involves being conceived with a holy young, being reborn as a holy Shin, and achieving the Yubul Sun Tri-Unity Tao. This rebirth allows one's Shin to become an angel Shin, general Shin, and male or female Taoist Shin, ultimately enabling ascension to heaven as a heavenly warrior, by gaining victory over evil Shin. Until now, the Yu Tao on this earth has made numerous Tao that have resulted in false Tao rather than the righteous Tao, thus bearing fault. The Bull Tao has focused solely on scriptures, neglecting to teach the principles of Taoist magic, necessary to fight and defeat evil Shin, despite possessing the Taoist magic of the general Shin. It has also led people to believe in and worship multiple Shin, thus incurring faults as well. The Sun Tao, although it worshipped heaven, followed and worshipped the Shin of the betrayal heaven, made multiple sects according to the desires of these Shin, and produced false prophets who claimed to be servants of Hananim, while engaging in deceitful behavior and deceitful tongue. Thus, its sins are indeed great. For these reasons, finding the righteous faith and Tao through human effort alone was nearly impossible. However, now that it is the new heaven, those who seek heavenly faith and Tao are granted the grace, blessings, and divine gifts to be conceived with a holy young and reborn as a holy Shin. Finally, people can achieve the heavenly Tao, which is the righteous Tao. To achieve the righteous Tao, you must know and abide by the heavenly laws. The righteous laws are solely the heavenly laws, and the righteous Tao is solely the heavenly Tao. Section 1. Correct understanding of faith and Tao. Faith is the foundation of Tao. Tao refers collectively to both prayer and practice. Without faith, one cannot achieve the Tao. Faith involves following and worshipping a Shin, with each faith having a specific Shin as its object of worship. Therefore, there is no faith without a Shin. Thus, a believer must be aware of the Shin to discern whom they are worshipping. Until now, people have believed without doubt that if they seek Hananim, Hananim will surely come. However, in reality, what has mostly come are evil Shin, such as Satan, devils, demons, and evil spirits, disguising themselves. People have been unable to properly discern the Shin. Therefore, it is crucial for the people of this earth to follow only the righteous faith at this present time. The righteous faith is the faith in Cheon-Ji-In, the brightest Hananim in heaven and earth, and the righteous Tao is the heavenly Tao that fights and defeats the evil Shin, hindering the path of righteous faith. The salvation of humanity starts with yourself. Some individuals, who are known as clergy or Taoists, claim to save the world and people, constantly using phrases like saving people and salvation of humanity. However, while they do not know the truth, they speak of it, and while they do not know the true Tao, they discuss it, thereby concealing the truth and obscuring heaven. The false prophets mentioned in various prophecies or scriptures refer precisely to such individuals. Admitting that you do not know something is an act of courage. If one first clearly understands and experiences something themselves, and then shares the truth learned from that experience with many others, that is the true salvation of humanity and the genuine way to save the world as a true clergy or Taoist. For this reason, the salvation of humanity must start with oneself. If you want to know whether you have been saved, you should consider whether you have freed yourself from your symbiotic Shin. You should not recklessly talk about saving others without having freed yourself from your own symbiotic Shin, or even knowing what kind of Shin rules over you. Faith and Tao focus solely on abilities. Among those who pursue faith and Tao, some individuals possess special abilities. Some also enter the path of faith and Tao, driven by the desire to obtain such abilities. However, these abilities are naturally acquired through righteous prayer and the practice of Tao based on righteous faith. They should not be the primary goal in themselves. Moreover, there are abilities given as divine gifts from Hananim, and there are abilities given by evil Shin. Evil Shin always seek opportunities to control people, sometimes granting their abilities to tempt them. If one focuses excessively on acquiring abilities, rather than seeking the Tao, they can easily fall into such temptation and ultimately follow a path to ruin. Therefore, once a person starts receiving such misguided abilities, without discerning whether they are from evil Shin, they end up becoming a puppet of the evil Shin. Evil Shin are always looking for opportunities to control and use people, so a momentary lapse of judgment can lead to receiving abilities from them. Thus, if one enters the path of faith and Tao with the purpose of acquiring abilities, they merely become a target for evil Shin. Righteous abilities and power. Heaven seeks to fulfill its purpose through human actions. Therefore, when one advances with righteous faith and Tao, demonstrating belief, obedience, and loyalty to heaven, they are endowed with righteous abilities and power, suitable to their potential. However, Receiving such abilities does not mean that one should consider them their own. Believing that one can use these abilities at will, simply because they possess them, leads to arrogance and an overinflated ego. One must keep in mind that all abilities belong to heaven. They must be grateful for the abilities bestowed upon them, and use them according to heaven's command, serving as a trailblazer in the new heaven. Section 2. The foundation of faith is Hananim. When you pray, there is always an entity who hears and responds to the prayers. That entity is the Shin, and if divided into good and evil, there are holy Shin and evil Shin. Therefore, if you blindly believe in and follow a Shin, without knowing whether it belongs to the holy or evil category, you will never break free from the yoke of the evil Shin. If the Shin you worship is from the betrayal heaven, then that Shin is an evil Shin that has betrayed Hananim. And thus, worshipping that Shin means you also stand with the evil Shin in betraying Hananim. Evil Shin may seem to fulfill prayers by providing answers, achieving desires, or showing what the person wants to see, temporarily giving the impression of granting wishes. However, they ultimately enslave the person to themselves. It is impossible for humans alone to overcome and escape the disturbances and temptations of evil Shin. One can only escape from these Shin if their abilities surpass those of the evil Shin. But evil Shin would never allow human abilities to grow beyond their own. Hence, to evade the clutches of the evil Shin, individuals must pursue the path of righteous faith and Tao. Section 3. About Hananim. Since the betrayal heaven era, the 144,000 kings of the evil categories have self-proclaimed themselves as Hananim. For this reason, during the betrayal heaven era, calling upon the name of Hananim would link one to the Shin of evil categories. Now, at this present time, the Lord Alpha wa Omega of the word of the beginning has terminated and wiped out the categories and lineages of the evil Shin, unifying the entire heaven under the category and lineage of the holy Young and Shin. Simultaneously, the holy avatar Shin of the Lord Alpha wa Omega of the word of the beginning ascended to the seats of the 144,000 kings, which had been occupied by 144,000 evil kings of the betrayal heaven, and became the 144,000 united holy young Hananim. Thus, the holy avatar Shin became Cheon-Ji-In Hananim of the new heaven. In heaven, the words Hananim of the beginning and Alpha wa Omega reside together as the Lord. The holy avatar Shin of the Lord are the 144,000 Hananim, who manage the affairs of the 144,000 areas of the great universe and heaven. Although each of the 144,000 Hananim has holy titles, they are collectively titled the 144,000 United Holy Young Hananim, whose holy title is Cheon-Ji-In Hananim, the brightest in heaven and earth, who govern all things between heaven and earth. Therefore, when one prays to Cheon-Ji-In Hananim, the corresponding Hananim answers the prayer. Kwanseum Shin is the one who, during the Armageddon in the great universe and heaven, against the evil Shin, solely fought on the side of Hananim and defeated the evil Shin of the betrayal heaven. As the great universe and heaven are unified in the new heaven, 관세음 Shin becomes the inspection Hananim, overseeing and supervising all affairs of the universe, and also Chilsong Hananim, who determines lifespan and fortune. To summarize what was previously described, it is as follows: the Lord Alpha Wa Omega. The Lord governs the entire universe, including all the suns, moons, stars, Shin, Yang, and all nature between heaven and earth, encompassing everything in heaven and earth, and the void, and is the only one who was the first during the beginning and the creation heaven era. Alpha Wa refers to the first and the beginning, the Lord of the beginning and the creation heaven, the Lord of the Hananim of the creation heaven, who is the first, self-created Shin, conceived with the first young, and the Lord of all divinities. Omega refers to the last and the end, symbolizing judgment and new creation, the Lord of the Hananim of the new heaven, who is eternal, glorious, infinite, and forever prosperous, and the Lord of all divinities. The Lord Alpha Wa Omega refers to the omniscient, omnipotent, holy, and great one, who is eternal, glorious, infinite, and forever prosperous, the supreme Lord of the entire universe, encompassing all suns, moons, stars, Shin, Yang, and all nature between heaven and earth, including everything in heaven and earth, and the supreme Lord of the void, the Lord of the Hananim, the Lord of all divinities, and the Lord of the word of the beginning. The words Hananim of the beginning. The words Hananim of the beginning refers to Mama Hananim, the creator of everything between heaven and earth, by saying, "Let there be light," whose holy title is Hwasanna Hananim. The Lord Alpha Wa Omega of the word of the beginning collectively refers to the words Hananim of the beginning and Alpha Wa Omega, and is the Lord, who is the creator of everything in the entire universe and all nature between heaven and earth. 천지신명 하나님, the brightest Hananim in heaven and earth. 천지신명 하나님, who is the 144,000 united holy young Hananim, refers to the holy avatar Shin of the Lord Alpha Wa Omega of the word of the beginning. Chilsong Hananim. Chilsong Hananim is the inspection Hananim, and 관세음 Hananim, who is together with 천지신명 하나님, 셀라 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 셀라. Sela means gratitude, reverence, and praise toward heaven. It is also the mystical and divine language and prayer of Yang. The prayer of Yang transcends the limits of human reach. So, when the Sela prayer touches Yang, the dark energies surrounding Yang for countless eons begin to dissolve, and the glow of Yang, created in the beginning, will no longer be darkened again. Through the Sela prayer given by heaven, I hope you will awaken and tune in to the voice of your Yang. In this present time of the new heaven, I would like to inform those who seek righteous faith and Tao, regardless of race or nation, that they should offer gratitude, reverence, and praise toward the Lord Alpha Wa Omega of the word of the beginning, and pray to 천지신명 하나님. Section 4. Sin and Punishment. Even if a person leads an ordinary life in the present, they have been born and reborn as various beings in their previous lives. Sometimes they were born as grass or insects, and other times as historical figures. There were also cases where they were born as Shin, without a physical body. Everyone has such past lives. This means that, in the Betrayal Heaven era, dominated by evil Shin, they were born as various beings, and are thus linked to evil Shin. There may have been past lives where they were born as evil Shin and committed great sins, and other times when they practiced false Tao, leading people astray, and spreading the world of evil Shin. There were also past lives when, knowing it was a sin, they turned away from Hananim out of fear of evil Shin. This is precisely the original sin, the betrayal of and turning away from Hananim in past lives. What difference does it make to resolve one or two karmic links in the countless cycles of reincarnation? Knowing what the original sin is and understanding the severity of Hananim's judgment should make even breathing comfortably at this moment something to be feared. Now, not seeking the truth is also a grave mistake. A person blocked by evil Shin may not know, but their young knows. You must listen to the voice of your young, seek Hananim, confess your sins, and repent your wrongdoings. When such earnest efforts are made, Hananim bestows grace and blessings, giving the opportunity to repent and atone for mistakes. The greatest sin is the sin against Hananim, and the punishment for this divine sin is the most terrifying and dreadful. If a sin is committed, the sinner must directly seek forgiveness. No one else or any other means can absolve them. Even in the world, the one who commits a crime receives punishment directly, according to the criminal laws. So, how much more severe must the heavenly laws be? No matter how strict the man-made laws are, they cannot be compared to the heavenly laws. Some clergy and Taoists do not comprehend these strict heavenly laws and say, if you just believe, you are forgiven, go to heaven, be reincarnated in paradise, speaking as if they possess divine indulgence. They must stop deceiving people with these false words. Heaven has declared that it will judge false prophets and those who commit deceitful behavior and have deceitful tongues first. Therefore, you must recognize that now is a critical time when heavenly laws and commands are taking effect. Section 5. Judgment and Apocalypse. The Apocalypse refers to the evil Shin completely taking over this earth. The evil Shin sought to destroy everything on earth, and through the Shin arising from within the destroyed, expand their power even further. This is the end of the earth caused by the evil Shin. Just as they once made all dinosaurs extinct in the age of dinosaurs to generate powerful Shin and use them in the world of Shin, the evil Shin were plotting to exterminate all humanity on earth, merging evil Shin and human Shin to produce Shin with cleverness, schemes, and abilities in large numbers to completely dominate and rule the entire universe. However, all the subversion schemes of the evil Shin have been subdued, and now the great universe and heaven are unified into the world of the holy young and Shin. Yet, evil Shin still remain on this earth because they ran away from the universe and heaven and have hidden on this earth. Therefore, heaven intends to eradicate all the evil Shin hiding on this earth through judgment. However, If this were to happen, humans would inevitably suffer as well. So, heaven seeks to grant one final opportunity for the people of this earth. The reason humans would suffer is that their bodies are occupied by the evil Shin. In other words, when the evil Shin are terminated through judgment, those who have not separated their human Shin from the evil Shin will be terminated along with them. Hananim has delayed the final judgment for the sake of humanity on earth. Where else could such great love be found? This present time is the only blessed opportunity to save yourself. The only chance to avoid being wiped out forever by the judgment of Hananim is right now, at this very moment. Section 6. The correct meaning of Cheon-Ji-In. The term Cheon-Ji-In refers to individuals who, through belief, obedience, and loyalty to Cheon-Ji-In Hananim, become the heavenly warriors fighting against evil Shin. Heaven puts a seal of Samtaeguk on the foreheads of these individuals as a sign of assurance. While this seal is invisible to the naked eye, it can be identified by those with superior spiritual vision. In Samtaeguk, blue, red, and yellow represent heaven, the sun, and the earth, respectively. This symbolism conveys the profound intention that everything between heaven and earth will be illuminated, ensuring there is no place left in darkness, so that what is achieved in heaven will also be accomplished on earth. These, Cheon-Ji-In, are the great multitude, clothed with white robes, described in the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9 in the Bible. When a person recites Akshin Jugora, they align with the holy Shin to fight against evil Shin, clothing their human Shin with the white glow of heavenly ki. If 100 people recite Akshin Jugora, they become a group of 100. If 1,000, they become a group of 1,000. If 10,000, they become a group of 10,000. Their human Shin are clothed with a radiant white glow, a sign of rebirth as holy Shin. Groups of people with this glow form the white multitude. Furthermore, when a person's human Shin is clothed in this white glow, it does not merge with their symbiotic Shin. Those who receive the divine gift of heavenly ki become trailblazers, achieving righteous faith and Tao. Through this path, they become the heavenly warriors who fight evil Shin, and these are Cheon-Ji-In. Cheon-Ji-In, set the wrongs of this land right, creating a new earth under the new heaven, and lead people in the right way, benefiting the world. They can be considered the seeds of humanity's salvation. You must not take this exceptional opportunity given through these, Cheon-Ji-In, for granted. Rather than becoming the eyes, ears, and tongues of this worldly reality, you must become the eyes, ears, and tongues of heaven. Therefore, strive to listen to the voice of your young and correctly hear, understand, and convey the words of heaven. One prophecy mentions that during times of tribulation, Jeongdoryong will come. In Jeongdoryong, Jeong means right, Do means path, and Ryong means word, implying that the word of the right path, or Hananim's word, will come to guide us in the right path. Everything is being revealed by this word, and I am imparting it to others, The expressions 12,000 enlightened people and 144,000 multitude ultimately refer to Cheon-Ji-In. This status is not achieved through any religion or Tao of this world, but is granted solely by Hananim's selection, when one seeks righteous faith and Tao. It is also said that the new heaven on earth begins at this present time. Those who cling to the old ways without seeking righteousness and lead others astray will be judged first. This signifies the strict command and law of heaven. However, they are given one opportunity to inform others of this truth. If, at this present time, someone has eyes but cannot see righteousness, ears but cannot hear righteousness, and a mouth but cannot speak righteousness, their eyes, ears, and mouth will be sealed forever. There are many scriptures and prophecies on this earth, but most are written in obscure language. Therefore, primarily by using the words of the Bible, I aim to help everyone understand correctly, regardless of religion, sect, or Tao organization. I inform you that now is the time of the Book of Revelation. The great universe and heaven have already been pacified, achieving the new heaven. Only the earth remains unpacified, as the last planet, awaiting pacification. All false prophets who engage in deceitful behavior and have deceitful tongues should no longer cling to their worldly achievements. Instead, they must truly repent and atone, dedicating all their glory to Hananim and becoming sincere trailblazers in the new heaven. It is crucial to deeply realize that now is the time to be loyal to heaven rather than the world. As the last day approaches, I repeat that it is said a final opportunity will be given to them. If anyone fails to follow these words and misappropriates them, their punishment will be more severe. Chapter 2, Dae-Do-Dae-Han. Section 1. What is Dae-Do-Dae-Han? Han means Hananim. Dae-Do-Dae-Han means the great path, guided towards the Great Hananim. In the new heaven, all the laws of the betrayal heaven become ineffective, and there is only one path, leading to heaven's Hananim. Thus, the bestowed name, Dae-Do-Dae-Han, signifies the mandate to achieve on earth what is accomplished in heaven through the Tao of Dae-Han, the Great Hananim. As of December 1st, 1997, it was declared that heaven has become the new heaven, unified with the Holy Young and Shin. The commands and laws of the unified heaven, the new heaven, descend as only a single lineage. Dae-Do-Dae-Han expresses gratitude, reverence, and praise to the Lord Alpha wa Omega of the Word of the Beginning, worshipping them as the Lord. It signifies the singular faith of the beginning, the only faith, by believing in Cheon-Ji-In Hananim, the Hananim of the Holy Young and Shin, and being reborn as the Holy Young and Shin. With the arrival of the new heaven, the entire heaven is unified into one, consisting solely of the category and lineage of the Holy Young and Shin. I reveal that the Shin, who ruled over each nation in the betrayal heaven, have all stepped down, as the new heaven has ushered in. Now, people on earth must follow Cheon-Ji-In Hananim, the Hananim of the creation heaven and the new heaven, the eternal Hananim, and the Hananim of the Holy Young and Shin. The faith of the heavenly descendants is rooted in all of heaven. Dae-Han represents the Great Hananim, and thus the people of Dae-Han indicate the heavenly descendants. Only the heavenly descendants have maintained a faith in the entirety of heaven. Now, the root of the heavenly descendants' faith must be restored. The heavenly descendants must now have faith in Cheon-Ji-In Hananim. Only the heavenly descendants can have faith in the entirety of heaven. It is essential to understand that Hananim is a title used exclusively by the heavenly descendants. Hananim has been worshipped by the heavenly descendants with faith in heaven from long ago. Now, this title must be reclaimed by the heavenly descendants. Section 2. The pursuit of Dae-Do-Dae-Han. Dae-Do-Dae-Han aims to achieve eternal victory over evil Shin. By the command of heaven, the heavenly Tao is conveyed only through Dae-Do-Dae-Han. It is bestowed by heaven with the command, fight the evil Shin yourself and achieve victory. Thus, the enemies of Dae-Do-Dae-Han are not people, but the evil Shin that corrupt people into evil. Any Tao that does not fight against evil Shin is not the heavenly Tao. Section 3. The era of grand integration of faith. It is declared that heaven has become the great universal empire. Additionally, the laws of the great universal empire are now in effect on this earth. The term Great Universal Empire refers to the heaven, governed by a single lineage of heavenly laws and commands. Therefore, there is only one heavenly lineage bestowed from Hananim on this earth. Heaven has been unified. So, now the faith on this earth must also become one. The era of mutual feuds and conflicts must come to an end. All of these were remnants of the betrayal heaven era, where the evil Shin of numerous categories and lineages contended for power. As the new heaven arrives, this earth must also become the land of the new heaven, a land that worships Cheon-Ji-In Hananim. In the betrayal heaven era, Nephilim Shin ruled over Yu-Dao, Amitabul Shin ruled over Bul-Dao, and Jehovah Shin ruled over Sun-Dao. These Shin divided one heaven into three factions: Yu, Bul, and Sun. With the advent of the new heaven, by the heavenly laws and commands of the Lord Alpha wa Omega, of the Word of the Beginning, these three Shin have stepped down to rest in peace. In publishing Secret of Heaven, in accordance with the heavenly command, the titles of these three Shin from the betrayal heaven era have been mentioned. However, since they were great beings in that era, I will no longer mention their titles, offering my final respects. Yu, Bul, and Sun have already been unified in heaven. Therefore, they must also be unified on earth. As it is accomplished in heaven, it must be accomplished on this earth, so that the glory of heaven will also be with this earth. The unified heavenly Tao, the Yu-Bul-Sun Triunity Tao, rises through Dae-Do-Dae-Han, and only through righteous and true faith is the heavenly Tao connected. Judgment is to wipe out all evil Shin in accordance with heavenly laws and commands. In contrast, the apocalypse is to take the path of self-destruction by clinging to one's self-centered attitude and fighting each other. The evil Shin are throwing tantrums now, knowing that their time is up. As a result, many people, whether they are religious, Taoists, or ordinary individuals, will suffer from the evil Shin. At this present time, it is necessary to have the awareness, to listen to the voice of your young, which will guide you to the words of the holy young and Shin. I hope that people will not recklessly argue about heaven with their limited knowledge and eloquence. It is said not to commit sins against heaven. Even knowing and not following becomes bad karma against heaven, making the sin even heavier. The commands and laws of heaven are strict and fearful, and you must be aware that the opportunity is only given at this present time. Section 4. Heavenly Descendants. Awake. Now is the time to awaken. Hanguk is indeed the nation of Hananim. Therefore, Dae-Han means the nation of the people governed by the Great Hananim. Despite having the name of the greatest nation in the world, we have not realized this. Now, the heavenly descendants must awaken. You must shake off all things that have covered your eyes and blocked your ears, and stand up. It is time to rediscover the faith of the heavenly descendants that has been passed down, and to worship the Hananim of the creation heaven and the new heaven. We must return to being the heavenly descendants who once worshipped and held ceremonies for heaven. The word says, "Heavenly descendants, awake, return as the faithful heavenly people." Dae-Do-Dae-Han follows the great universal empire of the Lord Alpha wa Omega, of the Word of the Beginning, in the great universe and heaven. In accordance with the heavenly laws and commands, I am fulfilling my mission as the pathfinder on this earth, and I declare this in accordance with the heavenly commands and laws. At this present time, with the divine gift that has never been before and will never be again, I pray with my sincere heart that the blessings of heaven be with you all, hoping that you do not lose this opportunity bestowed upon you. Section 5. The Paintings of the Holy Shin. The following illustrations, called the Paintings of the Holy Shin, are intended to help you understand the meaning of one's human Shin, being conceived with a holy young and reborn as a holy Shin. The paintings of the Holy Shin depict the rebirth of a votary's human Shin into angel Shin, general Shin, and male and female Taoist Shin through the faith and Tao of the new heaven. One's human Shin is thus reborn into these forms of holy Shin, becoming a heavenly warrior who fights and gains victory over evil Shin. After fulfilling one's mission, when the time comes to leave one's body on this earth, one ascends to heaven with one's glory as such a holy Shin.